Are you ready, true believers? Capcom, Marvel, and Arcade1Up have joined forces once again to bring you Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Survive the uncanny adventure. Don't miss out on the enjoyment of a lifetime. Behold an amazing new cabinet with 8 Marvel Capcom games. Don't miss out on the most amazing trios tag team fighting game ever. Are you ready for a new challenger? Come join.
Marvel vs. Capcom 2. New Age of Heroes.
Oh, that was something I always wanted to do. I wanted to recreate that Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter intro. I didn't use as many loud announcing skills. I don't know, I did it kind of different because the music was very jazzy, but Steps here with StepsGaming, and I am here today to talk about the Marvel vs. Capcom 2 cabinet. I've been avoiding watching other people's reviews. I think the only one I really saw was 19K Fox, and I wanted to make sure that I had my own take, and I want to make sure I stayed pure, and I didn't watch other people's reviews for the most part. Like I said, just 19K Fox. So what I wanted to do today is kind of make this quick and dirty. I'm going to go over the pros. I'm going to go over the cons. There's a million reviews already on the internet. I'm sure they go through everything, but I want to keep it simple, right? So for pros, I love the design of this cabinet. I mean, you can see it right behind me there. The microphone's kind of in the way, you know. There it is. But it has the same design as Yoga Flame, Capcom Legacy, 2022. MK30th has the higher control deck, a nicer control deck. I love the way it looks much better than the first Marvel vs. Capcom. First Marvel Capcom's behind me. It's kind of hard to maneuver, but this looks more like an arcade control deck would. So I'm a big fan of it. I like the height. It's pretty good. And so definitely a winner there. The next thing is that I wanted to say was that the marquee is not washed out. It looks like it is in the picture because my web camera doesn't do the best job, but it's not washed out. It looks really sharp. It looks good. It's accurately represented. At first I was like, why is the 2 bright red? Shouldn't it be the pink? But I looked at the old cabinets. They have a red too. They use less colors in the marquee, I believe. So it's accurately represented, I believe, from what I could tell. It has all 6 games from X-Men Children of the Atom on up to Marvel vs. Capcom 2. So I'll run through them all right here. How about that? Okay, Marvel Capcom 2, Marvel vs. Capcom, Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter, X-Men vs. Street Fighter, Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter, X-Men Children of the Atom, and here's the stuff could just go. X-Men Mutant Apocalypse, and Marvel Superheroes War of the Gems. So, alright, so the next thing we have, let me go back to my list here, is that, let's see. Oh, all these games have, they go online, they have spectate and cross-play, all the older games. So anything that they had previously released from the Marvel Capcom 1 and the X-Men Street Fighter cabinet. So everything but the Super NES games and Marvel Capcom 2. So there's 5 games with spectate and cross-play currently. So that's a pro, right? We'll get into the cons a little bit here. The joysticks, the stock joysticks, those are pretty good. Pretty good joysticks. I don't have a problem with them. They're good. I want something else, but you could play with them. They're really good. They're more than just acceptable. They're good. Okay. Coin doors. It has coin doors on it. I like it. At first I thought, why do I care about fake coin doors? They're nice. I like them. Very easy to drill a hole through them and put in some Retro 530 coin door lights. Shout out to Retro 530 and his coin door lights. Very affordable. The overall look of the cabinet is good. It looks like an arcade cabinet. It's 3/4, but it looks like an arcade cabinet. It doesn't look like a toy. I think the Marvel Capcom 1 behind me looks more like a toy than the Marvel Capcom 2. So it's definitely an improvement on looks. The vinyl is glossy. The cabinet art, despite being basic, looks good. Looks sharp, right? So now, let's get into these cons, right? Number 1, the most important, and everybody knows it, but we're going to mention it. Marvel vs. Capcom 2 has no online play at all currently. None. right? We don't know when that's happening. We don't know to what level it's happening, right? So, lots of questions on that. So we'll tackle that again in a bit. Number 2, the volume automatically goes down randomly during gameplay. So you're playing Marvel Capcom 2, sometimes during the gameplay, the volume goes down on its own. And it may do it on other games. I have to, you know, I notice it once and I get marks in my head. Okay, that happens. It also happens on my Yoga Flame. So probably should file a ticket for that, because my Yoga Flame, the volume goes down randomly as well. Seems to be a consistent theme on these Arcade1Up cabinets this year. After long periods of gameplay, the experience seems to slow down, and several are reporting several different slowdown issues. Yes. There was, I think it was in Sosa Fan Bam Bam's video, where he played for a couple hours, and then there started to be some slowdown, and other people started reporting the same thing, right? Some people say it overheats. I doubt it's an overheating issue. I think that the game's 20-some years old. I think it ran on my iPhone 4. I don't see why it wouldn't run on something that's 2 gigahertz, 8 gigs of RAM. That was in Yoga Flame. I think this one, I heard this one's a little bit more powerful. So I think it will run. Okay. There's other issues at play, like programming or something like that. Software issues. See, cabinet came with small dings and dents. Yes, my cabinet came with small dings and dents. There's a ding up near the top of it. Well, actually, both my dings and dents that I noticed. Up by the Hulk head, there's some dents. And there's some chips in the wood at the lower right of the marquee. I've never gotten an Arcade1Up cabinet before that had that kind of stuff. I don't have any dings and dents on my Marvel Capcom 1 cabinet, and I moved it and have had it for 2 years. So and I've heard a lot of people post online about small dings and dents on their cabinet that they got. So somewhere in packaging this, and wherever it came from, China, Taiwan, whatever, they were taking less care when packaging this particular product. I don't know if it was because there's a lot more of them, they needed to get them out faster, I don't know what, but that seems to be a common theme. Small dings and dents. I don't want to complain about it, because I don't want them to send me a whole nother like side panel or anything like that. That's just a pain in the butt for them. It's a pain in the butt for me. It's just frustrating. It's frustrating. You spend $600 on something and it's got dings and dents. So I gotta put that on my cons. And because I'm not the only one and other people are reporting it, it seems to be a consistent thing, I gotta put it on the list. Okay. Characters on the marquee are fuzzy at points. Okay. So I noticed that like the marquee, like if you get like close to it, you can see that some of the characters don't have a pristine print. And nowadays you expect the print to be really good. I've pulled some ads and I could see that there are probably different places they could have recreated the art. So I don't know if that was a thing they even considered, but that's nitpicky. That's a nitpicky con on the con list, because the marquee is more than acceptable. It's pretty good. It's definitely better than the Blitz, and it's definitely better, than the Marvel Capcom 1. The Marvel Capcom 1 marquee I was never really a fan. And I think that's all I have on my cons right now. I'm sure I could probably think of some more, but those are the ones that stand out to me, right? So I can see why people think the PCB was overheating, since it does it after a couple hours. It doesn't make sense it'd be software, but I don't... The PCB, from what I understand, is pretty beefy. So I don't know. Hopefully they could fix it. I think what's likely to happen here is MVC2 will get online. Hopefully with Spectate and operating like the other ROMs do. It's a totally different ROM, I mean, the other stuff is like CPS2 stuff, and this is Naomi, and so they're using Flycast. They're using the same system Fightcade's using. Fightcade does Spectate, so I don't see why it'd be a problem to do it, right? Then you have to make sure the lobbies look the same. I mean, that's a really tough chore, really. A really tough chore, and they should have been working on this a long time. There should have been checks and balances. It should be working right now. It's not. Okay, and Arcade1Up has to own that. They own that they didn't, whatever they did, whoever they hired to program this, they didn't have any checks and balances, and it wasn't ready. Okay? I talked about that the PCB was powerful enough. And it ran on my iPhone 4 10 years ago. Yes, it did. I feel that it's unfair for me to review the cabinet fairly because it's not done. They sent me an unfinished cabinet. It doesn't seem... I mean, I didn't see the prototype. I wasn't in Vegas, but... I don't know. Looks the same as it did in Vegas. So... It seems like they sent us a prototype. And really what they needed to do was make sure everything was 100%. I would have been fine waiting till February if that's what it took. They don't need Christmas to sell this thing. They really don't. Like, people like us are just going to buy this cabinet whenever it comes out. So, I would have preferred it have been delayed. And so when they said it was delayed till November, and then I was relieved, and then everybody was crying, I want my cabinet, I want my cabinet. And they started returning their cabinet and trying to get it some other places. That's why we have these cabinets, probably. And we should have waited. All of us should have waited. And you guys should have just shut up and waited to get your cabinet when it was ready. But here we are with the cabinets. Okay? But maybe you guys didn't know. Maybe you guys didn't know. You know, but I kind of did. Based on what I have now, if I didn't have the MVC1 cabinet, I'd give this cabinet... It's hard. I'd say a 7 out of 10. Because other games seem to run well for me right now. I've played all of them, I think, except X-Men Children of the Atom. The joysticks are pretty good. I like the deck height. You know, cosmetically, I think the cabinet's better. I definitely do. So, for that, I'd say I give it 7 out of 10. Now, if MVC2 gets online, and I still take notes of the carelessness taken when packaging the product, causing the dings, marks, and dents, I'd give this cabinet 9 out of 10. Okay? And by when I say it gets online, it has spectate, has all the things we know and love from the other cabinets. That's what gets it a 9 out of 10. It runs great. Okay? If they put Marvel Capcom 2 in there, it gets online, there's no spectate, but the other games have spectate. What do I give the cabinet? Probably an 8 out of 10. Maybe 7.5 out of 10. Like, those things are important. People want to play this cabinet online. They want people to watch the matches. People live for that kind of thing, especially in our community, especially the Marvel Capcom community. There's way more people in this community. So I'm going to be blunt and honest there. Now, if the product had been taken care of better, and I didn't get dings and dents, and other people didn't, all these other people didn't get dings and dents, and it got online, and it had spectate, and all the other games were working, and everything was good, it would be a 10 out of 10 cabinet. That goes without saying, right? So, this cabinet, even though it's in your home now unfinished, has a ton of potential. I would keep it. I'd keep it, or if you don't have one, if you want to take the risk, buy it. I'd say the risk is pretty good. It's pretty good, the chance that they're going to fix this. They don't want their name going under because of this. I think it's going to get fixed. You know, all I could say is you hear rumors from this person or that person. Sounds like it's getting fixed. So, I'd recommend buying the product or keeping the product. Despite the fact that, if I'm unbiased about it, already having the MVC1 cabinet, and seeing the unprofessionalism in handling this product, programming the software, shipping to me an unfinished product, I would give it a 5 out of 5, and that's being generous. But like I already said, huge potential. Has the potential to be a 9 out of 10 at this point. I'll deal with a couple dings and dents. If they get everything working the way it's supposed to, I think it's a job well done. So, you got your work cut out for you. I'm looking forward to doing another video where we could talk about how all of this was solved and how great our cabinets are. And if not, then I'll go that route with the video too. But I think we're going to be looking up. I think you're going to see this looking up in maybe a couple months. We'll see. Arcade1Up needs to issue a statement. They haven't. Then they need to. So, come on, Arcade1Up. That's all I got to say. You guys, please like and subscribe. I will have more Marvel content. Obviously, I run tournaments. You can see that I ran a recent Marvel Capcom 1 tournament where you had to be Spider-Man, Venom, or Red Venom. And I have upcoming other tournaments from Big Blue and or Yoga Flame / Shinko Hidoken. So, you know, this is the place to be. Subscribe to Steps Gaming. Leave your comment on the cabinets down below. And I look forward to seeing you all in the next one. This video is brought to you by Fallen Warriors of Marvel Vs. Capcom Past, Norimaru from the Japanese version of Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter. A gem of a character we probably will never see again. Here's to Norimaru and the great past of Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter.